Okay, so this is my first tutorial and I'm going to walk you through making a bath bomb. I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera around so you can see my ingredients and then we'll get started. So in my bowl, I guess I can't flip my camera around. Okay, I'll just have to flip it around this way. So I have my citric acid, my baking soda, and my sea salt, and my 3 liquids, which are avocado oil, polysorbate 80, and my fragrance oil. We have the bath bomb mold. We have some little rose petals. And we have these little things called embeds. And of course the 91% alcohol spray. Alright, so we're going to get started. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put all my dry ingredients together. And I'm going to mix using this kind of motion. It's kind of powdery. You breathe it in, it's not going to hurt you, but it's going to kind of tickle in the back of your throat because of citric acid. And I'm going to add in my fragrance. My oil. And my polysorbate 80. Now, polysorbate 80 is just an ingredient that helps make the oil and the colorants disperse throughout the mix. I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to either rub like this or I'm going to just do like this. It takes a few minutes to get this all done. I find that if I rub my hands together like this, it's easier to break up the little beads of oil and fragrance oil and the polysorbate 80. Okay, so one thing I forgot was the colorant. So I'm going to run over real quick and grab it. I'll be right back. I'm going to use Persian Rose Flare because it has a little bit of glitter in it. And I'm just going to use a little tiny bit in my, just a little bit, maybe a half a teaspoon. This is just going to give it a light color. I don't want it too dark because I want it kind of girly. And I scented it with rose. Okay, so I feel like this is mixed up enough, ready to go, and so I'm going to go ahead and add in my alcohol. I kind of make a little hole in the middle of the bowl, kind of bring the mix up towards the sides. I'll tilt the camera down so you can see. I kind of make like a little crater down here, and that's where I'm going to concentrate my spray. Now the recipe that you have will be a little bit different because you're going to be separated out. I'm going to spray this because I'm making the full batch. I do this so often, I know exactly how many sprays I need for the most part. Now it's going to really smell like alcohol, but that will dissipate and you will not smell it in your bomb when it's all done. So now we're going to be mixing from the bottom so you don't have any dry stuff on the bottom, because that will make your bath bombs crumble. Okay, so I'm going to tilt the camera down again so you can see when I squeeze it in my hand and it looks like that, and if I drop it in the bowl and it kind of stays together, see how I can pick it back up, it's ready to mold. So I'm going to take half of my mold, I have 2 halves, and take a little bit of rose petals, just a few, just a tiny bit. I'm going to pick it up in my hand and I'm going to kind of like loosely put it on the top. I'm going to push down I'm going to put a little bit more on top, like that. Okay, so it's really up above the mold. I'm going to take my other mold, not putting rose petals on this side. Do the same thing, smush it down, mound it up. And you don't want to compact this so tight in there that it's not going to come out. So you're going to have two pieces, and as you push, all this stuff is going to be falling off, and you're going to kind of twist like this until you're just rim to rim. So nothing is sticking out, nothing is coming over the edges. And I also forgot the spoon. Okay, so now you take your spoon and you tap along this rim. And it kind of goes from one sound to another. I really can't describe the sound, but it's more like a thunk instead of a tap. And that's how I know it's ready to come out. So I'm going to pull the top off. I'm going to switch hands, and I'm going to flip it over. And you can see that my rose petals shifted a little bit, so I don't have it all on the top. Now I'm just going to set it down. I'm going to do one more because I'm going to show you how to do the embeds. So with the embeds, I'm not going to use any rose petals. I'm going to mount it up just like I did, except for I'm going to punch my thumb right down in the center there. So it's kind of like a hole. And I'm going to take my little embeds, and I'm going to do 3 of them. So I'm hoping that kind of gives it a cool little flair. It doesn't really matter how you put them in there. But I kind of, if you can see, I kind of did it in 3 different spots. So I'm going to grab some more, and I'm going to push it down. Do my other half. Press it and smush it. Pull it off. Bam. There you go. I'm going to set these down. And I noticed that my bath bomb just cracked, which I'm going to show you because it happens to the best of us. So it looks like I need just a little bit more moisture. So I'm going to hit it with a couple more sprays and mix it up again. I also live in the South, and so we have a lot of humidity, and sometimes, like today, we didn't have a lot of humidity, and it was actually rather cold. So we're going to try to do another rose petal one here. Put my rose petals in, put my mix in, do my other half. Tap it. I just kind of rotate it in my hand and tap it all the way around just so that I know it compressed it from all sides. Now see, that one's even better, right dead center. So now you're wondering, well, what is she going to do with the misshapen one, the one that's falling apart over there? I'm not going to waste it. What I will do is I will make a few like this, and then I will take that one, throw it back in the mix it up, so now we'll just have some rose petals mixed throughout instead of just waste not, want not. So now we'll just have a few rose petals throughout, and I can continue on with the other ones that have the rose petals in the side. So here we go. Now this batch will yield anywhere from 10 to 13, depending on how much you pack them. I said for you guys 10 just because you're new at packing, and I kind of do this all the time. So I will probably get 12 out of this. And yeah, so when I'm all done, I'm going to let them sit here for 24 hours, and then I will put them in a clear plastic bag that is shrink wrap, and I will label them, and I will put them on my website. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video tutorial. I hope you have a ton of fun making these for your family members, and glad I could be a part of it. Thanks.